One of the industries hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic has undoubtedly been the food and the beverage industry. Now, in a bid to spark a movement that could potentially save hundreds of restaurants and bars across the country, some big brands have now come forward to lend a helping hand. The South African Breweries have launched the hashtag Save Your Spot voucher campaign that aims to put much-needed financial relief into the hands of the already struggling sector. Let's now speak to Dirk Talma, one of the restaurateurs who's trying to stay afloat by using this initiative. Now, thank you so much for joining us, Dirk, and welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great, man. It's great to have you with us this morning. Do share with us, if you can, how you've been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic and the national lockdown.
It's been devastating. We have zero turnover, zero income, and we have about 80-90% of our expenses still in play. So it's been tremendously hard.
And I guess one of the major concerns that have come up is the closure of business, the loss of jobs and income. So how are you coping?
Well, we're scratching around for every cent we can get our hand on. It's been very difficult for our staff in particular. The South African staff are getting paid by UIF, luckily, so those guys are on leave. The foreign staff are not getting paid at the moment. So this kind of stuff, the Rally Your Brand stuff, helps us a lot to actually just get some money in to get those guys sorted, maybe on a weekly or a monthly basis, just so they have food at home.
You know, Dirk, there are currently several voucher initiatives, one of them the South African Breweries hashtag Save Your Spot voucher. How do such initiatives work? Do take us through them.
Well, Save Your Spot is it's not exactly unique, but it is got additional benefits for people. Most of the voucher systems, you buy a voucher and the business gets some money in, and later the guys redeem it and they get it back. What makes Save Your Spot unique is that everyone wins. So if you were to buy a 500 Rand voucher, you would immediately get additional 50% from Save Your Spot. So your 500 Rand voucher becomes 750 Rand. Me as a store owner immediately get 750 Rand in my hand that I can operate with or pay salaries or whatever needs to. And when the stores open after lockdown, you come with your 750 Rand voucher and you have a meal or drinks or whatever you want to do. So ultimately everyone wins in Save Your Spot.
So how do other struggling businesses sign up and benefit from this? Is it only confined to the food and beverage industry, or just about any other business and industry can benefit from it?
Well, I can only speak for food and beverage, but what I would do is, as any business owner, I would go to rallyyourbrandsrestaurant.com immediately, see if you are on there. If you are not on there, register immediately. It's a pain-free process. It takes 15 minutes or so. Get yourself on there. Once you've registered, share that link with everyone you can, your WhatsApp groups, social media, send it to literally everyone you can. Get some money in immediately. As I said, you get an extra 50% at the end of the day, so it's a bonus.
So how do these consumers then buy the vouchers?
Well, the consumers go to rallyyourbrandsrestaurant.com. They would search for their favorite spot, hence the Save Your Spot, I guess. They log in, they literally find the spot, pick a voucher, whether it's 100, 200 or 500 Rand. They buy the voucher, they pay for it online, and they immediately get that additional voucher emailed to them. If they bought 100 Rand, they get 150 Rand. If they spend 200, they get 300. If they spend 500, they get 750 Rand.
So do you believe that this is the direction that the industry will take even after we've overcome this pandemic?
Yes, I believe so. I think that a lot of people have realized during this pandemic that the relationships between suppliers and customers and store owners is absolutely critical. And I think this is a step reaffirming that without each other, we are pretty much buggered. So I think in the future, after this pandemic ends, we're going to find more and more of these initiatives where there's a lot more relationship building, a lot stronger relationships between customers, staff, between our suppliers, everyone. It's all about the people at the end of the day, and that's something that is becoming very apparent to everyone.
Do you think the government is doing enough in terms of what the government has now offered to businesses in terms of the stimulus package that has been announced by the president?
Sure, that's a toughie. No, in my opinion, not. What we fail to realize is that small businesses contribute massively to our economy. And at the moment, it's just not enough. As I said, your foreign guys that have paid UIF for years and years, they've got no income at the moment, and that's our biggest concern for business right now. And after that, how are we going to stay on our feet after this? We have been on our knees already due to the politics and the economic situation in our country for this, and this is just, for a lot of people, this has been a nail in the coffin. So it's all fine and well saying let's throw a couple of tax breaks around, but the reality is if there's no income, how do we pay tax? There's zero income at this stage for a lot of restaurants. So it's probably my opinion, but we also have to realize that what's the situation in terms of the fiscal policies of our country. So it is tricky.
Yeah, it certainly is tricky, and you're making a fair and a valid point there, Dirk. Now that the level 4 restrictions entail some restaurants opening, but not for sit-ins, and it only has to do with ordering online and delivering food to customers. Do you think that it'll go a long way in cushioning the impact of the coronavirus on restaurants?
No, it won't. I think for your takeaway stores, it'll help them a hell of a lot. So that would be good. But a restaurant model is built on the fact that half of our business is drinks related, whether alcohol or non-alcoholic. So immediately we are short half of our income. Our overheads are unfortunately very much the same. So if we just do takeaway orders, and let's assume for a minute that half your turnover is food, and you do maybe half of that in takeaways, you're down to 25% of your income in any case. Meanwhile, your expenses remain pretty much the same. So most people that I've spoken to and on the forums and stuff, we're discussing this, it appears that most restaurants, it's not really going to help them. In fact, a lot of them have worked out that it's going to cost them more money to stay open. And the Spur Group, they pertinently said that they can't open. It's not viable for them until lockdown is completely ended.
All right, Dirk, thank you so much for chatting to us this morning. Much appreciated. That was restaurateur Dirk Talma. He's been talking to us about the hashtag Save a Spot voucher campaign that is rallying a call to save South Africa's restaurants and bars during these trying times. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.